Our next couple up are Bob Riblett and Niki Thompson. Bob is usually on two wheels, either bicycles or motorcycles. When he's not playing pickleball, he's working in their community garden, surfing at San Onofre, or working on his bikes or his rental properties. Niki's one of the original members of the Pickleball Club. She's the club secretary and also teaches Introduction to Pickleball. Full disclosure, we play with and against each other every Friday morning. When she's not playing pickleball, you can find her in their community garden, or else she's playing mahjong or some other type of card game. And plus, she makes a mean chocolate chip cookie. Bob and Niki, welcome.
Thank you.
She didn't know what I was going to say.
I did not. She didn't get my stuff or my information for my introduction, so she made it up.
That's true.
I did a great job.
Everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, let's start with my three questions. Where are you from?
I'm from Long Beach, not too far away, LA County. I had to get shots when I go back, but.
And I'm from Nebraska. Started out on a farm with an outhouse and a little tiny community called Surprise, which if you went through it, you had a surprise that you missed it. And I've been here for over 50 years in California.
And I understand what brought you here.
The Marines. Yeah. I wanted to get out of Nebraska and I wanted to be close to the ocean. And the Marines have two places, either the East Coast or the West Coast, and I was lucky to end up in San Diego.
I know we're digressing, but what year did you sign up for the Marines?
1968 through 71, and I was very fortunate. I did not go to Vietnam. I stayed at Camp Pendleton and started going to college, actually off base, so worked out good.
I learned how to fly.
And I learned how to fly, yeah, at Palomar Airport. I got my private license and started surfing.
So I guess the Marines were very good to you.
I would not complain about what they did, yeah.
Okay, my next question. How long have you been a couple?
Well, it depends on who you ask.
About 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah, thereabouts. We don't remember exactly. We're not good with dates or special occasions.
But we celebrate every day.
Every day. Every day.
How long have you been in Laguna Woods?
Well, let's see. I've been here longer than you?
No.
Okay. I think I've been here about 16, maybe even 17 years, but not full time. I first found out about the woods when I was dog sitting for a coworker that lived here. And then I've been here off and on ever since then, but I took care of my dad in Long Beach for 7 years. So for 7 years, I was back and forth. So full time, I don't know, a long time. Long enough to know I don't ever want to live anyplace else.
How about you?
I first bought here in 2001, thinking I would get my mother in Nebraska to move out here, but I couldn't even get her to come look at it. And so I had been renting, and then when I got a divorce, I needed a place to live, so that's when I moved here, about 2007.
Okay. And so you've been here ever since?
Yes.
You didn't go back and forth?
No.
Okay.
Well, once in a while. When I was invited.
Okay, let's get to the nitty-gritty. How did you meet?
Well, I was on a covert mission for the CIA in the Amazon jungle when my position was compromised by a double agent. I was being pursued by a bloodthirsty gang of guerrillas and running for my life, and all of a sudden this super guy just swoops down, grabs me. This was many years ago.
I'm glad I didn't give you a lot of time to prepare for this. I'm glad it was only a couple of days, because God knows what kind of story I would have gotten.
Thanks, Tricia. This was Tricia's idea. So this guy swoops down, grabs me many years, at least 20 pounds ago, hauls me up into the trees and saves my life. I would not be sitting here if it wasn't for, oh God, that wasn't you. Oh, wait, I know. It was the fireman from the burning high-rise.
That's
it, oh, okay.
Okay, Bob, what's your version?
Yeah, you tell this story. I'll just interrupt as necessary.
I was out in front of my condo, washing my motorcycle, And this cute gal walks by, and as she's walking by, she turns and she says, "If you ever want a passenger, I have my own helmet. And it's blue, just like your motorcycle." And I go, wow, these Laguna women are pretty forward.
I never stopped. I just said it and I just kept walking.
Yeah.
So
And then I took off on a motorcycle.
That's the real story.
That's the real story.
Yeah, that's the real
story. A previous boyfriend, I've been single, happily single for many, many years, so, I can tend to get confused with my stories. But anyway, this was right. A previous boyfriend had given me this blue helmet, didn't match anything at the time. 2 years later, I'm walking down the street and this guy's washing a blue motorcycle. So I said that. I just kept walking. 2 weeks later, he was on the bike going this way. I was out on a walk going this way. He turned around, followed me home, which any place but here would have terrified me. But, it's pretty safe here. And we stood at the door and talked for several minutes. He took my phone number, and I didn't hear a word from him for 7 weeks.
I took off on a motorcycle trip with a bunch of guys for, 5,000 miles.
Seriously.
And so I didn't get around to it.
But you kept her number.
But I kept her number. And then I called her finally.
How long after you got home did you call her?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
And I don't know either. I don't know.
But I do remember it was a Saturday morning, and I said, well, do you want to go for a ride? And she said, yeah, when? And I said, how about a half an hour?
And I said, sure, because I don't care.
And we started doing that, and I took her over 100 miles an hour, and she loved it. And our longest trip was 2,000 miles together. We went up to see a friend of mine in Oregon and had a great time. And one day we had 400 miles on and off rain coming out of Oregon. And I could tell when she would fall asleep because she would interlock her hands around my chest.
I fall asleep on the back, especially after I've eaten.
Yeah, after lunch. And I could tell when she was asleep because her helmet would start bouncing on my back. But she never fell off.
No, it's pretty hard to fall off a motorcycle, really.
Have you ever changed your helmet, or is this the helmet you've always had?
I actually did. In fact, after that first ride with him, because my original helmet was just 3/4 helmet, and after that first ride, he said, nope, you're getting a full-faced helmet. You dress for the crash. So he got me a full-faced helmet, and I've had a few since then.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
what's your head worth?
Yeah, right.
Full disclosure, we went on a trip to Paso Robles, and Niki and Bob rode a motorcycle, and I was just wondering if the helmet she wore then is the same.
No.
And neither was it the same motorcycle, but it was a
Similar.
duplicate of a replica. No, it was the newer version of the original motorcycle, still blue.
So when did you guys realize that you were both into gardening?
Well, I had been sharing a garden plot, and then Niki found out, and she said, well, I want a garden too. And so then we got our own garden plot.
We were on the waiting list for 4 years. We were sharecroppers for 4 years, and then we got our own plot. And luckily, we both enjoy it because it's a lot of work. Yeah, a lot of work.
In fact, I have a sign in my little place that says, I thought I was retired until I planted a garden.
It's like owning a boat.
Yeah, very similar.
It is. It's a lot of work, but it's very, for us, luckily, we both enjoy being in the garden. It's quite a respite from the rest of the world.
During the pandemic, it was really nice.
Someplace you could go. Our garden is totally enclosed, so we could be there without, being close to anybody. And now we supply $100 tomatoes to our friends.
Yeah. And
To
they're
all of
very
our
good.
friends.
We had a terrible year this year, just awful tomato year. But
So you guys are some of the original pickleball club members. How did you get into that?
We were on a tandem bicycle.
we had a tandem recumbent.
Yeah, which you sit in a comfortable chair with a full windshield, and we were on the bike path that goes right past the pickleball courts. And we saw this, and we said, wow, what's that? We got to find out.
Well, we saw the sign that said pickleball, and like everybody else in those days, what's pickleball?
When was
pickleball?
those days? When were we talking?
2011?
2012.
Okay.
And then I actually had gone back up to Long Beach to my dad, and he stopped at the courts and tried it out. And the next time I came down, he said, you got to try this. And it was love from the very first shot. I actually was shown how to play the game by Mary and Dale Rayner, who brought pickleball to Laguna Woods. Right. They gave me my first paddle, and yeah, it's just been fun. We were not the in the founding group. I think there was originally 38 or 40 people.
You were the next.
We were the
the
second
next generation.
level. Next generation.
Yes.
When you literally knew everybody in the club, it was a great time.
Right. And now the club has over
Almost
600.
600, yes.
Almost 600
Almost
people.
or over.
Right.
I don't know, because it
Right.
changes so quickly every
Right.
week.
Right, right, right.
And yeah, we're still riding the blue motorcycle.
Yep.
Is that motorcycle still part of your repertoire, or you've moved on with others?
Well, we've moved on to newer versions of the same motorcycles.
bike, the FJR 1300.
Yeah, the Yamaha FJR 1300. It's we call it the old man sport bike. It'll do 155.
Hey, I have a question, because I know what I'm like on the back of a tandem. Do you pedal if you're on the back of the tandem?
On the tandem recumbent, and I assume this is true on any tandem, you don't have a choice. Your pedals are going to go around.
Oh, they just go around.
They go around. So my feet are going around, but I'm sitting back there reading because I have absolutely no ability to steer the bike.
Right.
I do have a brake, I think, for
You did
emergencies.
have a brake, yeah.
But yeah, I just sit back there reading, and it's.
So are you doing all the work with an extra person on?
No, not all the
Well,
work.
most of the work.
When we're going up a hill, particularly.
I will.
She has to help.
Do you ever make her get off?
No, I think the only time I remember her get off was when we were going up a dirt road on the motorcycle. And I think I asked her to get off so we wouldn't have an accident.
He was afraid it would,
Yeah, because it was a little scary.
yeah. The only time I've ever been
Ejected.
ejected was not with him. It was with somebody else on gravel. So gravel or
Yeah.
loose dirt kind of scares me on the bike.
Well, it would scare me too.
Yeah.
I got to say, there's no way I'm going to get on the back of a motorcycle these days. I did it once.
Well, I've ridden over 350,000 miles, so hopefully I know what I'm doing.
Well, no, and I appreciate that.
But I wouldn't get on a motorcycle with anybody that, is a weekend warrior that once in a while they go.
It's a wannabe.
That's scary.
Plus, I've told him, and all my friends know this, if we're in an accident, he is to drag his bloodied body over to me and make sure I'm dead. I can handle dead. I won't know.
Oh, that's a good ending to this segment.
Yeah.
Do you think we should end it on that?
I just got the 2-minute warning 2 minutes ago, so thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, we're just getting warmed up.
Thanks so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys. I can't wait till the next time. If you'd like to come on to the show, email us at lwvcouples@gmail.com. Include your name, phone number, and email address, and brief description of your story.